No sir. No sir. No sir. No sir. No Maybach, but I ain't got a chauffeur. I'm in it for the bread, put you in a toaster. Hey, yes sir. Got a little older, was a young flexer. You know that it's a go, cause make my jacket checker. Pop one pill, but it's a double decker. Yes sir. I ain't talking schools, I'm waiting on a transfer. Send a pussy boy to meet my ancestors. Put up on the block, it's hot flaming Chester. Yes sir. I just flew a no sir. No sir. No sir. No sir. No sir. No sir. No Maybach, but I ain't got a chauffeur. I'm in it for the bread, put you in a toaster. Hey, yes sir. Got a little older, was a young flexer. You know that it's a go, cause make my jacket checker. Pop one pill, but it's a double decker. Yes sir. I ain't
49er underscore news 24. We are here for the post game show of 49ers versus Titans. This is my post game show. I dropped my instant reaction to the game yesterday, right when the game ended. It was it was a minute and 23 seconds long, and now we are here today to break down the whole game. My thoughts. I rewatched the game now 2 times. I watched the game 2 times now. On your way in, make sure you guys drop a like. I watched the game 2 times now, so sure we got good in chat. All right, I watched the game 2 times now. I got my notes here. We're going to talk about a few different players today. Earlier this morning, I came out with a short talking about Anicius Price. Anicius Priceock was a rookie that caught my eye. He had 3 targets versus Carnell Tate and allowed 0 catches on Carnell Tate. Carnell Tate is the 4th overall pick in this year's draft by the Tennessee Titans. Carnell Tate, a really good wide receiver. And Anicius Priceock absolutely did his thing. He held it down versus Carnell Tate. So I'm going to pull up that YouTube short right now. I posted this one in the morning, but we're going to pull it up right now here on the stream. 1 second. This is the short from Anicius Priceock. Priceock had a very impressive rookie debut for the 49ers. At the 4th overall pick, Carnell Tate in lockdown. This is the first target they have going against each other. Carnell Tate tries to get physical at the top of the route, but Priceock does a good job by being physical with him and getting the pass breakup. Also see the arm length by Priceock on the pass breakup, very long arms. This one is not on Carnell Tate, but this is him taking away a whip route and taking away a tight end corner route. He makes Cam Ward get away from his first and second read, going down to a check down. Very good job by him. We are back on Carnell Tate. This is an out route by Tate. Priceock is an off coverage. It is a bad throw by Cam Ward, but Priceock was all over there. He was going to not allow any yards after catch after the catch was made. That's 101 they had. Priceock stayed very sticky in coverage, not allowing Carnell Tate to have any room, but he ends up slipping at the top of the route and allows Tate to get free, but the ball was almost picked off anyways by Ashtyn Davis. Anicius Priceock had 3 targets and 0 catches allowed on Carnell Tate, and he also had 1 pass breakup. Priceock was one of those rookies that really had a good game versus Carnell Tate. He was also in the 4th quarter. Priceock only had 2 catches yesterday versus the Tennessee Titans in the preseason game. As I pull with the box score. My other winners for the 49ers rookie was Grayson Halton. Grayson Halton had an amazing game. I think Grayson Halton was the best 49ers rookie yesterday. He had a sack that got called back due to a holding on the 49ers cornerbacks, but on Jacob Robinson. But Grayson Halton was one of those guys who was everywhere in the backfield. He was wrecking havoc for the 49ers yesterday. Let me pull up the R22 real quick. Oh, I don't have it no more. Grayson Houghton, though, was by far the best rookie for the 49ers yesterday versus the Tennessee Titans. He was getting pressure. He was in there in the backfield getting run stops. Grayson Houghton was for sure the best 49ers rookie for the 49ers yesterday. Curtis Rourke before his injury. Curtis Rourke is clearly the 49ers' third best quarterback on the roster. The thing is, he got injured. He hurt his ribs. He was transferred to a hospital, according to Kyle Shanahan, during the game. He had trouble breathing. So he was transferred to a hospital and was released early this morning. Curtis Rourke is clearly the third best quarterback on the 49ers roster. Adrian Martinez did not have a good game. Adrian Martinez had a bad game for the 49ers. Curtis Rourke, hopefully he is healthy. I think Curtis Rourke could 1,000% take over for Mac Jones when Mac Jones does leave the San Francisco 49ers. Curtis Rourke was absolutely darting it up yesterday. Let me see if I could pull up some clips. But yeah, Curtis Rourke, 1,000% is the 49ers quarterback 3. He is the third best quarterback on this 49ers roster. This is Deshaun Stribling. This is Curtis Rourke getting it to Deshaun Stribling. Stribling also was one of those rookies who had a good game for the 49ers. He had 7 catches. None of it really showed Deshaun Stribling route running, which is I want to see. I want to see how good his route running has gotten now in the NFL. That is my biggest thing of Deshaun Stribling. My biggest question mark on Stribling is how good is his route running really in the NFL? Can he beat man coverage now? Or does he not have good route running? But this Curtis Rourke, like I said, had a good game. Deshaun Stribling had a good game. Deshaun Stribling first catch, like I said, this one on the screen showed his strong hands. He also had a good catch over on the sidelines where he adjusted his body. He showed that he has good eye coordination and good body adjustments in midair. So Deshaun Stribling, I was really impressed by Deshaun Stribling. I do want to see how good his route running is now that he is in the NFL. Jordan Watkins, though, another Ole Miss Rebel. Jordan Watkins looked really good. He was making some big plays. He had 6 catches for 59 yards. He had a smart play on special teams also, 4 minutes and 42 seconds into the first quarter. Jordan Watkins, I think, is going to make this 49er roster. He's clearly ahead of Jacob Cowing. When Jacob Cowing is healthy, Jordan Watkins has a bright future for the 49ers. And if one injury happens in this wide receiver room from to Mike Evans, Deebo Samuel, Jordan Watkins will be that guy who will step up for the San Francisco 49ers. Jordan Watkins is a really good young wide receiver that the 49ers have on the roster. I thought he had a really good game. Not a lot of people was talking about it just because Deshaun Stribling had a good game and he is the rookie. But Jordan Watkins, I think, probably had a better game than Deshaun Stribling. I would say I like what I've seen from Jordan Watkins yesterday. Other players who I thought did good was Anicius Priceock. We talked about this. Anicius Priceock had the 4th overall pick. Carnell Tate and absolutely locked down. He had that boy in jail. That Carnell Tate did not do anything yesterday for the 49ers. He had 3 targets and didn't have 1 catch. This is Deshaun Stribling's 2nd catch of the game. Let's pull some clips here. That was Stribling's 2nd catch of the game. This is my favorite play. This play from Stribling reminds me a lot of Jauan Jennings. He's already getting that Jauan Jennings comp, but it was this out route by Stribling and showing off his yards after catch threat that he is. Reminds me of the play that Jennings had versus the Philadelphia Eagles where he stiff-armed Eli Ricks. This was a really good play by Deshaun Stribling. Okay, this was Jordan Watkins. Jordan Watkins off the line. This one was amazing. This was Jordan Watkins' best play of the game. Great release off the line. Got separations away from the DB and ran an amazing route. Jordan Watkins, like I said, was a wide receiver yesterday that really impressed me. I really like what we got in Jordan Watkins. He was a player who did really good this game. And then special teams wise, Waitman, do not know his first name. Waitman, the 49ers new punter, he did amazing. He was absolutely dogging yesterday for the San Francisco 49ers special teams. He won the punting battle in camp for the 49ers, and he is showing why he should be the punter 1 for the 49ers. He had a really good game yesterday for the San Francisco 49ers. So the players who I thought stood out, Curtis Work, I think he is the third best quarterback on this 49er roster. I gave him a B minus. He looked really good. If he was playing the rest of the first half, I think the 49ers would have had a good chance to win that game yesterday. But Adrian Martinez came in and stanked it up. Adrian Martinez, on my quarterback grades, I gave him a D minus. He had a very bad game for the 49ers. Curtis Work, though, his game was a lot of checkdowns. He was getting the ball to where Kyle Shanahan wanted the ball to go. He was getting the ball exactly where he needed it to go. And then that's exactly why he had a good game. He wasn't trying to play hero ball like Adrian Martinez was. He was taking what the defense gave him and just driving just like that. Take what the defense gave you. Take your checkdowns. Take the yards that the defense gives you. That's exactly what he was doing. He had a good game. Grayson Halton talked about it. He was everywhere. He had a really good game also. That was the best 49ers rookie, in my opinion. Jordan Watkins, Price Hawk, and then Curtis Waitman. Those are all players who I thought who stood out to me. Jaden Duggar also stood out to me. He had a nice game. He had an open field tackle on Cam Ward in the first quarter. He showed good downhill speed on that play, and he had a nice tackle on a run in the first quarter. Let me pull up the open field tackle he got in Cam Ward. This play by Duggar was impressive. It looks like Jaden Duggar is the early candidate to be the 49ers linebacker 3 over my guy Nick Martin. I still wanted it to be Nick Martin, but what Jaden Duggar showed on tape yesterday is going to be very hard to beat him out for that linebacker 3. I would expect him to get some playing time later on this season for the San Francisco 49ers. It is Raheem Morris defense. Jaden Duggar had a nice game for the 49ers. Going down here on my notes, Garrett Wallow was bad in coverage. He allowed a mesh route where it was a drag, where he was supposed to pick up the drag route. He just got burnt on the drag on the mesh concept play. Garrett Wallow is bad in coverage. Garrett Wallow is more of a special teams linebacker for the 49ers. That is why he is on the roster. Let me see here. Nick Martin had an up and down game. Nick Martin made some plays. He was also missing tackles, missing assignments. Nick Martin, he showed flashes, but he just had some plays that he just needs to make now that he is in year 2. Alfred Collins had a big missed tackle to start the game, and then in the red zone on the Titans' first touchdown, he absolutely got washed away by the center. Alfred Collins had a bad game yesterday for the San Francisco 49ers. Adrian Martinez also had a bad game. We talked about him already. He also had a bad game for the 49ers. I was really impressed by the rookies. Jaden Duggar, Grayson Halton, and then Deshaun Sterling. Very impressed by the rookies. Price Hawk, very impressed by Price Hawk. Being able to hold his own versus Cardinal Tate was very impressive by him.
Price Hawk had
Showed that one. That's the whip route. Let's see the notes. Patrick Taylor Jr. was a better receiving back yesterday for the 49ers than he was actually running the ball. He actually finished with, I believe, -5 yards yesterday. It was a rough day on the ground for Patrick Taylor Jr. He looked better receiving the ball. That is where he is great at, is receiving the football out of the backfield. Patrick Taylor Jr., more of a receiving back than a running back, in my opinion. Jordan Watkins also, I would not be surprised if he does get some special teams rep for the 49ers this coming up season at kick return. He was out there at kick return in this game. Like I said, he had a smart play in the first quarter where he let the ball bounce out of bounds. Very smart play by Jordan Watkins. I think Jordan Watkins has a very bright future for the 49ers. I would take Jordan Watkins at this moment over Christian Kirk. I would take him over Jacob Cowing and Malik Turner. Excuse me. Those are the wide receivers I would take Jordan Watkins over. I think Jordan Watkins is going to be a really good wide receiver for the San Francisco 49ers. Bright future and a good potential for Jordan Watkins. Those are some of my notes from the game after rewatching it. Like I said, just going back to Curtis Work. Curtis Work was an absolute dog for the 49ers. Hopefully everything checks out on Curtis Work, because if it does, Curtis Work is going to be a really good backup to Brock Purdy after Mac Jones leaves the 49ers. Curtis Work is going to be that guy who's going to be able to come come in games late if the 49ers need them and go win you the game. Curtis Work showed that his last season at Indiana was no fluke. He still got that dog in him. He's able to hit throws. Like I said, Curtis Work reminds me of a perfect quarterback in the Kyle Shanahan offense. He can make the throws that Brock Purdy can make. Obviously not at the same level as Brock Purdy, but he can make the same throws, layer throws over linebackers just like Brock Purdy. Curtis Work is a dog, and I'm hoping everything checks up, because if he is hurt, that means the 49ers quarterback 3 next game will be Adrian Martinez. It will be I would expect Brock Purdy to get some run versus the LA Chargers in preseason game week 2 for the 49ers, and then I expect Mac Jones to play. And then I would expect it to be Adrian Martinez. But if Curtis Work is there, I would expect it to be Curtis Work and then Adrian Martinez. It's all going to depend on how good of a joint practice the 49ers have with the LA Chargers on Tuesday. The 49ers have a joint practice with the Chargers on Tuesday, 2 days before the 49ers preseason game versus the LA Chargers. Trey Lance is going to have his revenge game in the preseason, just like last season, versus the San Francisco 49ers. So that should be very interesting. Having the 49ers go against Trey Lance. Trey Lance had a very up and down game for the LA Chargers yesterday. He had a very bad interceptions. He was missing throws. I'm still Trey FC, but that was a very bad look yesterday for Trey Lance. I didn't get to watch the full game because the Niners game was on. DJ Uiagalelei, though, looked like he outplayed Trey Lance, but that's a game I will be going back to watch. That is what the 49ers have in this coming up week. It's the preseason game versus the LA Chargers. The 49ers losing, though, does not really turn me no wrong way, just because the rookie shine, they all show potential. Grayson Hodson already looks like he's going to be the best 49ers rookie out of this draft class. And then Price Hawk, the numbers for Price Hawk, the amount of cornerbacks that 49ers usually keep might be the reason why Price Hawk is not on the 49ers 53-man roster and is on their practice squad. But Price Hawk, man, had a very good game. I would hope the 49ers are able to keep him on the 53-man roster. The cornerbacks that I think are locks for this 49ers cornerback room is Demo, DeAngelo, Ronaldo Green, Upton Stout. Those are completely locks. And then I would say Jack Jones is the lock. He did get a little banged up yesterday. I would say Jack Jones is the lock. And then after that, there's not really locks. So I would say Price Hawk has a good chance to be 49ers cornerback 5 in this coming up season for the 49ers to make the final 53-man roster. I think Price Hawk is the 49ers 5th best cornerback on this 49ers roster right at this moment. You got Nate Hobbs. Nate Hobbs has been dealing with injuries that has kept him out. So injuries in this league, if you're hurt in camp and you are already fighting for a roster spot, it's going to be very hard to come back from. It's an uphill battle you have to face throughout the rest of training camp, and Nate Hobbs is in that uphill battle right now against Price Hawk. I think Price Hawk makes the 49ers roster as a cornerback 5, and I think he should make that final 53-man roster. If he doesn't, he's going to be on the practice squad all season, and I could see him getting poached away by a different team if Price Hawk is on the 49ers practice squad. If he's on the practice squad for the whole season, which is very unfortunate. He shouldn't be on the practice squad. He should absolutely be on the final 53-man roster for the San Francisco 49ers. We did have some news today for the 49ers. So let me put those two up real quick. The two news for the 49ers today. They tried out 3 cornerbacks after that Nate Hobbs, after that Jack Jones injury. After that Jack Jones injury, these are the 3 cornerbacks they tried out. They tried out Bryce Hall, Corey Mayweather, and Troy Pride. All 3 of them, if they are assigned to the 49ers in this coming out week, it will just be for a camp body and nothing else. It will be for the 49ers. It will be because the 49ers do not have enough cornerbacks in the cornerback room to go play the LA Chargers in their preseason game or to play the LA Chargers in the joint practice. So those are the 3 cornerbacks the 49ers tried out today. Camp bodies, don't see none of them making the 49ers final 53-man roster. If one of them do get signed, one of them might stick on the practice squad, but I don't see none of them actually making an impact when it matters when the 49ers are in the regular season. The other news the 49ers had today was Vita Vea. Vita Vea is one of the hottest names out right now in free agency. This is from NFL Network. Mike Garfield. Several teams has called the Tampa Bay Buccaneers into seeing how available Vita Vea really is. The teams are the Bills, Bears, 49ers, but the Buccaneers remain standing that Vita Vea is their guy and they're going to get a deal done. Mike Garfield said Buccaneers remain steadfast. They're not trading him and kept the lines of communication open on a potential new deal for Vita Vea. Like I said in the videos on my one of my YouTube shorts, I said the Niners need to go balls to the walls to get Vita Vea. If Vita Vea is on this 49ers team, this 49ers D line will be one of the best D lines in the NFL. It will be up there with the LA Rams. Of course, the Rams having Myles Garrett, possibly Aaron Donald returning. Aaron Donald returning does not scare me one bit. It's been years since he played football. I don't think he'll be that same player still for the LA Rams if he does come back from retirement. So that's just something out there. I don't think Aaron Donald will be the same threat he was when he left the NFL. Retiring, coming back after, I think he's been out for 3 or 4 years now in the NFL. I don't think he'd come back and absolutely just dominate the NFL like he was before he retired. But adding Vita Vea would be amazing for this 49ers deep line. Him and Osei as defensive tackles will be amazing with Grayson Halton getting to learn behind Vita Vea. That would just be amazing for the San Francisco 49ers. But same thing I said in my YouTube short, I don't see it happening just because I think they will get a deal done. I'm hoping they don't get a deal done and the 49ers offer the Buccaneers something they cannot resist. So that was the Vita Vea news today. We also had injury news yesterday after the game. Nate Hobbs is going to be out for some time. He pulled his groin versus the Green Bay Packers. Not versus Green Packers, versus the LA Chargers in the joint practice. So he's going to miss some time. It's going to be multiple weeks, according to Kyle Shanahan. Impressive rookie debut for the 49ers. The 4th overall pick, Carnell Tate in lockdown. This is the first target they have going against each other. Carnell Tate tries to get physical at the top of the route, but Price Hawk does a good job by being physical. This is the other injury update for the 49ers. This is the post-game injury update. Nick Martin with a stinger. He stayed in the game. Curtis Rourke, rib injury. He went to the hospital. He was having trouble breathing. Jack Jones, hand injury, did not return. Marcus Siegel, oblique, did not return. These injuries, none of them seemed really serious. Nick Martin finished the game. Jack Jones is probably serious because they did try out 3 cornerbacks today. And then Curtis Rourke with rib injury, I think is going to be serious. Marquis Siegel, I don't think is going to be serious. I don't think he returned just because it was a preseason game. That's going to wrap up this live stream of my post-game show. If you guys need to channel, subscribe, like the video. Now, I'll see you guys in the next one.